Manchester United have started the summer transfer window strongly. With Matheus Cunha through the door and Brian Mbeumo set to join him, you have two proven Premier League players entering the prime years of their career. That was a necessity, but we all know that Ineos are aiming to build for the future and sign young gems capable of becoming key players at Old Trafford. Over the last 12 months, Sekou Kone, Chido Obi and Aiden Heaven were among those low-cost yet high-potential deals, and there are expected to be more. In fact, Diego Leone is another teenage star who has already agreed a deal to move to the club this summer, but amidst all of the transfer drama, you probably haven't heard many updates about him, and that's where this video comes in. Hello everybody and welcome back to United District, and today we're going to be speaking about Diego Leone. So, first of all, let's do a quick throwback to when he joined. So Diego Leone was confirmed as a new Manchester United signing by Fabrizio Romano back in February, I think it was, the beginning of February. So this deal is 3.1 million in an initial fee and an extra 790,000 in easily achievable add-ons. Then there's about 2.8 million in more difficult add-ons, so more performance-based. Essentially, if he's a successful signing, if he's a good signing, that will probably come through. So, once again, like I've mentioned in the intro, it's a low-cost yet high-potential deal that Ineos are going to keep doing. That I think this is what they want to do a lot of. Now, obviously, United really needed some Premier League proven players, and a lot of people were scared that we were just going to keep going for these 19, 20, 21-year-olds in terms of signings. Of course, they need to get some experience in, but these signings are nice, and like Aiden Heaven has proved, they can be really cost efficient if one of those guys can just come into the first team and look really comfortable. That's 1.5 million. Just think, I think it was a year earlier we were looking at 70 million for Jared Branthwaite. Now, I'm not saying that Aiden Heaven's on the same level as him, but their difference of about £59 million or £69 million, whatever they had him priced at last year, I think the difference isn't that big. So, obviously, Leone turned up to Old Trafford in February and actually met with a few of the players. Obviously, there's Lisandro Martinez and also Alejandro Garnacho. So he turned up, he signed the contracts, he went back to Paraguay and has been playing his football since, getting that extra experience because obviously under the rules, United cannot sign him officially until he's 18, which he is 18 now. And we're going to be speaking about the arrival because obviously just then, beforehand, in Fabrizio Romano's tweet, it was mentioned that he'd be joining at the start of July. Now, this Paraguayan journalist has given a little bit more information recently and explained that he's going to be travelling to England in the second week of June, just ahead of pre-season. So that gives him the opportunity to settle into life in Manchester for a few weeks before pre-season begins. Because obviously, we're not entirely sure what the plan is with him. I'm going to be speaking about what's out there in terms of reports and what seems to make sense with what United have done beforehand. But he could easily impress in pre-season and make some forward steps. So I expect him to be playing maybe at least one or two of the pre-season games. Potentially he might not go on the US tour. That might come a little bit too soon for someone who has just flown halfway across the world to come to the club. To then go all the way out to the United States, I feel like that might be a little bit too early for him, but we'll have a look. Before we actually get into all of that though, and talk about where he'll be next season, what United's plans are, I want to look at these quotes from his former manager, just to get a little recap on what kind of player he actually is. So this is his former manager, Jimenez. The first name escapes me actually, but this was him speaking to Sport Witness after the deal happened in February. He's a prototype of a fullback in many attacking conditions. With his age, he still has time to improve in his defensive aspect, which is what he has to grow. In Manchester, they will give him the right job so he can develop, hopefully. the day he's clear about his decision making, he will be a great player and won't make mistakes that can't be criticised, but are typical for his age and inexperience. So just a quick read through that and you get the general idea that Leon is quite similar to a lot of young fullbacks. He looks like he might be exciting going forward, but has to improve at the back. I mean, if you've watched a few clips of him, you'll immediately notice that he looks ready for men's football. I mean, even though, in terms of the physical sense, I'd say, even though he's out in Paraguay, which, I mean, looks like a tough league as well, in terms of that physicality, he looks like he's already got quite a good build. He looks a bit short and stocky, similar to kind of Harry Amas and Luke Shaw in the fact that they're not exactly tall or look hugely physical, but they've got that frame which can help them slightly. So yeah, I think Leon will be an interesting player, but I don't think he's going to be a first team player straight away. And that kind of goes in tandem with this report from the Daily Mail, where they essentially say that United have kept the door open for new signings at wing-back because Leon is not expected to go straight into the first team. He's expected to start off with the youth sides and build his way up to Ruben Amorim's squad. Now, this is really similar to Sekou Kone, like I said, and Kone still has not made a first team appearance. Obviously, he appeared on the postseason tour, but in terms of competitive football, he has only really been playing for the under-21s, and he's been getting more physical, he's been getting used to that, getting used to the technical side of the game as well, because it's a lot quicker, and he seems to be improving. A potential loan for him is happening this season, and then we'll probably reassess maybe in January or the season afterwards, but he's making positive developments with that plan in place, and it seems like Leon is going to have a similar one. I've been told as well that it is quite a similar integration plan to Kone, that he is going to start with the youth teams like this report says, and then potential first team inclusion in training sessions, potentially in matchday squads later on, like what happened with Kone. He appeared in the first team squads a few times towards the end of last season, but didn't quite push on for a debut. Now, that is almost all of the interesting information available on Leon at this point in time. In terms of announcements or potentially interviews with the player, it seems unlikely. I think there will be an announcement of his signing, similar that there was for Sekou Kone last year. But the midfielder didn't actually conduct any interviews, he didn't have any quotes. I think he's only conducted one interview since he joined. So not much media attention, trying to keep them in the background. I think the same thing will happen with Leon. And we'll just have to wait and see how he integrates. Now, an interesting thing as well to note that people might not have noticed, but there's actually a new ruling in the Premier League 2, which is the under-21s league, that they're going to be able to show a lot more football, because beforehand they were prohibited from showing games if they clashed with Premier League games. That's no longer the case, so we're probably going to be getting to see a lot more of the United under-21s next year, and Leon will definitely be a player to watch. But yeah, let me know what you think of him in the comments below. Are you excited? Do you think he'll potentially push forward? Yeah, let me know what you think of him. Let me know what you think of United's transfer business so far this summer, and I'll catch you in the next video.